What difficult truths? The sooner you accept them, the better your life will be. Story 1. There will always be someone better looking, better educated, younger, more experienced, more intelligent or wealthier than you. Do your best. Live without regret. Have empathy and kindness. Give when you can, expecting nothing in return. Focus on your heart value more than what others have. Story 2. Just because you're right doesn't mean people will agree with you and might work against you either way. My wife struggles with this. She has an idea that works and gets the company more money, but the owner and other workers are against it because they disagree with it, even with the evidence that it works better for them financially. All the data in the world won't change the mind of a person who won't listen. Story 3. It is easy to believe that everything is hopeless and terrible because that means you don't have to do anything about it because apparently it wouldn't do anything anyway. There's no point. There is comfort in hopelessness. So you can sit there, do nothing, believe that the world is in the hands of some mysterious, insidious cabal, and coast believing the results would be the same whether or not you did anything between nothing and everything. It's much harder to accept that you have power because that might entail some responsibility. The truth is, over your life, the lives of the people around you, and to some extent the world, what you do actually matters. And given the way the effects of our choices ripple beyond our ability to see them, probably in much larger ways than we realize. Story 4. You need to provide the world with something for people to value you. There are so many people out there who think that they just deserve a girlfriend or a boyfriend. But if you're not giving anything, if you don't offer anything, then you're not going to get the kind of person who offers you anything. The same thing with friendships. Friendships are about giving. It's not about what you want, it's about what you offer. And I'm not talking about financial stuff here, I'm talking about listening. Being there when someone needs you, helping them. When you hit your 20s, all you can think about is what the world can give to you, not about what you can offer. You need to offer something to be valuable to society. Story 5. All aspects of our modern society were either created to solve a problem that no longer exists, or because of individuals with a cult of personality around them, or most commonly created by marketing companies, government agencies, to make you act in their interest instead of acting in self-interest. Our norms don't come from some divine source, or even a well-educated source, not even a well-meaning source most of the time. If you don't fit into the mold very well, congrats, you were never intended to. The mold is there to shape you into a good little consumer, worker, soldier who won't ask questions and will sacrifice happiness in their current life for the promise of happiness in the afterlife. All you are doing by acting within the confines of social pressure is limiting your own happiness, distancing yourself from people who might actually like the real you, lying to the people around you and not giving them a chance to really know you, and inadvertently applying more societal pressure to those around you by keeping up the persona. I think most people start to understand this pretty early, because all it takes is some surface questions like, why do I have to buy a diamond engagement ring? Or, why can't boys wear nail polish to really open up Pandora's box? But are corrected pretty early and just told, that's the way things are, by people in power that they want love and approval from. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people have more trauma from this than they realize because they believe that the way they naturally want to act and live is wrong. And they live their whole lives since before knowing their ABCs thinking. Everyone, including themselves, need to be as close to society's expectations of them to be worth love and respect. And when they see evidence of the contrary, they get angry but don't know where to place it or how to deal with it because that knowledge became a central pillar of their understanding of the world. Story 6. Propaganda is a real thing. It's used because it works. Humanity as a whole has gotten much better at it over time, and you are not immune to it. If you're looking at information and end up feeling strongly about it, positively or negatively, it was likely just used on you. It doesn't mean that the information is wrong, but it may have made you feel much stronger than you should about your need for this product, your willingness to donate your time, money to this cause, your devotion to or hatred of this person. Realizing this can actually vastly reduce your stress over many things. Story 7. One difficult truth that can make a big difference is realizing that you can't control everything. Accepting that some things are beyond your control helps reduce stress and allows you to focus on what you can change. It's about finding peace in the things you can't influence and using your energy to improve what you can. Story 8. The majority of people won't make six figures no matter what they do. Not everyone is going to be able to buy a house. No matter what politicians say, not everyone should go to college. And that's okay. There is just as much pride in being a retail clerk, waitress, garbage man, etc., as there is any other job. Live within your paycheck, not your dreams. Don't go into debt for anything. Being grateful and content is so much more important than money. Story 9. As someone who lived my life until my late 20s with the worldview that nobody can tell me what to do, yes, sometimes they can, and sometimes things are out of your control. This may not apply to billionaires or children of political powerhouses, but I don't think many of them are browsing Reddit. I went to prison for 4 years and was on probation for 4 years after that, and it was a big eye-opener for me. You can control your actions, but at some point people with guns and tasers and prisons can, and will, control you for right or wrong. It makes life way easier to realize that, because all those things suck to get hit with. Story 10. Limit your expectations. Not your hopes and dreams, but what you expect others to do or things you expect to happen. This is especially important for other people's behavior. I've known people who ended up blowing up into a huge fight because one person didn't offer the other a drink at their house. Would it have been good hosting to do so? Of course. But expecting it to happen makes the guest entitled and feel like they were slighted when in reality it was probably an accident. Having expectations of other people's behavior, other than basic respect and decency, will get you into trouble every time and make you less thankful for what they are doing. I see it cause trouble in marriages, friendships, and everywhere. Story 11. Regardless of how much you think you deserve, life does not work to grant you the things you think you are entitled to. No one is coming to save you but yourself. It is no one else's job to make you happy. Some people will receive more than others because of their family, governments, natural-born traits, or other reasons, and that is out of their luck and efforts, and nothing else. So the next time you feel angry at the world for not granting you the things you deserve, just know it is wasted time and energy. Feel your feelings of disappointment, work to make yourself feel better, and move on. Control what you can control to improve your life, appreciate the gifts you are granted, accept the things you cannot control. Story 12. Do what you can to live a no-regrets life. Go visit your grandmother. She's not always going to be here. Forgive people who have done you wrong because not doing so will eat away at you, while they are usually oblivious. So, forgive them for you, not for them. Learn to get along with your siblings because one day your parents will be gone. And they will be the only people who know and understand you and the life you've lived because they lived the same life for the most part, whether it was amazing or it sucked. So put in the effort, stay in communication with them, and love and accept them, warts and all. Be the bigger person and apologize even when you think you're right. I know this has been said, but I think it's important enough to hear over and over. Everyone you love is going to be gone eventually. Live with this in mind and act accordingly. You won't regret it. Little red flags eventually become big red flags. Listen to your gut because it's usually right. If something feels off with someone you're dating, walk away and never look back. If my kids learned nothing else from me, these 2 things will serve them well through their lives. Hopefully, someone who reads this will take them to heart and be spared the pain of them the hard way. Story 13. You can't control other people's perception of you. Some people will always see you as the bad guy or see you in a way you deem inaccurate, and you will drive yourself nuts trying to correct them. If someone else has already talked about you to others first, that will likely be the perception that sticks. You can't force anyone to change. If they don't see a reason to change who they are, nothing you do is going to make them see the light. People can only change through dedicated and consistent hard work. It's very difficult. There's often a reason they are the way they are, and changing that is like trying to swim against the current. Nobody will put in that much effort for someone else's reasons, even if they might trick themselves into thinking they can. You can't manipulate, cajole, guilt other people into getting the relationship with them that you want. This applies to friendships, family, romantic relationships, work associates, etc. If someone is unwilling to step up more in a relationship, if someone doesn't want to be as close to you as you want to be to them, if you want them in your life in a particular way and they don't want to be that, the healthiest thing to do is to accept it, move on, and find someone else to fill that need. Story 14. You are your own worst enemy, and you will have deeper realizations related to that for each new level you reach in life, especially through loss and regret. Even the most successful will succumb to this. There is no escape. It doesn't matter who you end up with in a relationship as long as it's generally considered healthy, forward-moving, and brings out the better side of both of you. Related to this, the sooner you study and master attachment styles, the sooner you will master dating and relationships. Vet your people properly. It's a skill that needs to be practiced. Before you have mastered all this, you will continue to fail. The people closest in your circle have the highest probability to do the most harm to you physically, emotionally, financially, legally. Guard your circle and don't let people in too soon, too fast, or too easy. Vet your people properly, or you will pay the price, and probably more than once. Just because someone is family doesn't mean everything is all good with them or they get to have excuses or get away with anything. As a kid, you don't get to choose your family. As an adult, you finally get to, just like the Fast and Furious did. Choose wisely. Story 15. The most important thing I've ever learned was that the universe you experience is a reflection of your intentions and actions. The way you treat people and approach situations will be reflected back at you. If you treat people with love and respect and approach the world with optimism, the universe will reciprocate. Maybe not every single time, but on average, you will experience what you put out coming back to you. Story 16. The world is not a meritocracy. Don't break your back for a company that doesn't actually reward hard work. Rewards like raises and promotions should be proven. You shouldn't have to just trust that they will come. That's not how the real world actually works. You are much better off bouncing around jobs to get raises and move up in the world than you are staying tied down to one company that'll probably take advantage of you. Story 17. Lots of things about life suck. No way around that. But I realized I was so absorbed in self-pity I made everything about life suck way more than it actually did. I catastrophized the smallest things. I fucked up one thing on a PowerPoint? Well, I'm fired. All my loved ones are going to think I'm a failure. I am a failure. I'm going to be alone and homeless forever. Might as well just end it myself. Find a therapist, friend, support group to talk through to get some perspective. I did that a few years ago, and I swear I owe my therapist and several other people my life. Story 18. Everyone is out there trying their best with what they have. You don't know everyone's full story. That decision they made that you didn't like probably had nothing to do with you. Most people are not out here trying to be malicious. They are just wrapped up in their own stuff. I had this realization when I moved to a new community, and the first friends I made started heavily complaining about certain other people in our same line of work. I was terrified to meet these apparently horrible people, but when I met them, I found that they were actually wonderful people who had to make tough decisions based on outside pressures my first friends weren't thinking about or aware of. They were much kinder than my first friends too, and I am much closer to the horrible people now. Story 19. We are all going to die. The sooner you understand this, the sooner you can start living. Find peace with your Creator and accept that one day this life will come to an abrupt end. Accept and understand that dying is as natural as being born. It is our natural destiny. Start living truly, purely as your authentic self. See the world in all its possible joy. Embrace the day and live. Love without measure, without regret, without stipulations, and without fear. See the flaws in others and know that they are just human, and that their clock is ticking just like yours. Forgive not for their sake, but for your own sake. Bring kindness into the world around you and help others when you can, because tomorrow may not come for you or them. Say what needs to be said loud and bold. We are all dying. So start living. Story 20. Being counterculture might seem like you're being a unique individual. You're not. You're just imitating some other lifestyle. It's far easier to just be yourself. Find people who are similar to your true self, and acknowledge that even if billions of people are just like you, that just means life is easier for you because it's made by and for people just like you. Stop trying to rage against the machine and just learn how to run the machine. Everything is truly better once you hop over to this side. Trust me, I'm a former goth, emo punk kid from the late 90s and early 2000s. Many of us from those scenes are in high-level careers now.